One hand, we see so many children doing so well, parents taking care of children, and in other places, parents are so careless, irresponsible, shameless that they don't have any feeling of their responsibilities. That what how bad they are treating their own children.
Yeah, I said to Bankasha the values, education begin in the house, begin for the parents. And
Yes.
if the parent no pretend to change the behavior of the kids, in the future, children's it's not a good person. Maybe take a bad way.
Yeah. And these are the children who become like beggars and criminals, and all kind of troublemakers for the society, for themselves, as well as for families, as well as for the whole overall their society. So we all must do our part to uh, educate people that, hey, key to success is not uh, the most important success is having fewer children, and give a good quality life to your own children. That is the best thing you can do for your kids.
Yeah, it's not only provide the food. You
Yeah,
need to provide
it's not
other.
enough.
See,
Exactly.
yeah, it's not enough.
Yeah, food is not enough. And then it's same that some parents, even they cannot provide the food for children, and still they keep producing. you know I mean, that's sad. Like in America we call it food stamp. In India, government is playing a role, providing food to many families who don't have enough. And I'm sure that kind of program is all over the world. Not good. I mean, that shows that how irresponsible parents are, that they cannot even earn enough to feed their own children.
Yeah, actually exists different foundation to help these
Yeah,
children, but it's a good the foundation. But the other part is why the government no put your hand over the fathers and go and find a job.
yeah. Well, the thing is that there are not that many jobs. That's the problem. You know, what can you do? I mean, a country like India, we don't have a unemployment problem here or in Mexico. But if you go to India, there are 20-30% population. They don't have any job. They're depending on their parents, brothers, and sisters. So it's very normal that you'll have 1 or 2 person in the family working, and then 20 people in the family, all the cousins and grandparents, uncles, aunts, they all living very terrible lifestyle in a crowded house and somehow surviving. So they don't have any saving. I mean, the best they can do is that manage meals and have bare minimum clothing. That's it. They never go for any trips, or they can never afford to do anything, what we call it, entertainment, because they, I mean, for many families that concept doesn't exist. Or what we do in the middle class families here or in any part of the world. And it's sad. So it's a lack of education, and I think that is what we have to keep trying to educate people that you are responsible for your children. It's your responsibility, and you have to take the lead. Don't depend on your parents or grandmother and uncles, government for support. What if they don't support? Ultimately, it is your responsibility if you are planning to become a parent. If not, then use the contraceptive. Don't become parents. And I'm glad that in many countries in Western society, many people, they don't have time. I mean, even if they can afford it, but they don't have time to dedicate to their children. So they are deciding that no, I'm not going to have a child. I'll be just like many married people or those who live together. They decide not to have children, and that's okay if they are not ready, because it is a commitment of life, at least for 25 years, right?
Yeah. No, it's good. It's a personal decision. It's a
Yeah,
personal
exactly.
decision. For me, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, yeah.
But in Mexico, well, in my state, it's there is too much work, and you can find a job is because you don't want to.
Yes, 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 yeah. So that's good. In this part of the world, it's still, it's very good job wise, because if you want to work, you can find it. Maybe you have to look hard. But country like India, there are too many people, young people, they don't have jobs, and because there are not that many factories, or you can call it not many opportunities. Society is depending on just agriculture. Still, it's not highly industrialized country, and people produce too many children. So, I mean, just in 100 years, we have quadrupled the population of India. So, it means that per person resources have become one fourth. So, whatever the lifestyle in general our parents had, now uh, it has gone down. Like when I was growing up in the village, every family I remember would have some few acres of land, which they were uh, tilling or doing the cultivation. So at least food wise, everybody could afford, and nobody was buying anything from outside at that time, other than salt and maybe oil, vegetable oil, but everything sugar. I think everything was being produced in the village. And now the village has grown big. So what happened is that the agricultural land has reduced, because in many places, which was farmland, has been converted into houses. So land has reduced, population has gone up. So overall, per capita land has gone down. So families don't even have now, since in the Indian system, whatever is the property, when father and mother die, that get distributed among, primarily still we have that it goes to sons. So let's say father has four sons, which was very common in my time. So and father had 5 acres of land, so that 5 acre got divided into four. So you have now one plus quarter acre land left. And now the second generation has their family to feed with 1.25 acre of land, while his father used to have 5 acres of land to feed the family. So how do you? I mean, so naturally the living standard has gone down, unless you are supplementing your income from some other sources, which could be like part-time job or any business or any anything else. And that is the problem. That is the common problem throughout India, because still 70% of the population depend on agriculture. And agriculture, as you go from one generation to another generation, land lot size is becoming smaller. And
You
uh,
mean sorry for interrupt.
go
You
ahead, go ahead, go
mean
ahead.
okay. You mean it's the the part of land is divided to four sons,
Yes,
and each son willing the owner property
yes.
and destroy
So
part of the agriculture for your
yes,
home. Oh, okay,
yeah,
right.
yeah. So
Due to
so basically, whatever is the properties of the parents, normally, I mean, normally that will be another topic how it is happening. But right now, the still tradition is that in the villages, uh, property get distributed among sons, and then girls become shareholder of property with her husband. Okay, so wherever she gets married, she will become part. So it is not that girls are not compensated. Girls are compensated. After the marriage, girls become part of the husband's family. That's how the tradition has been. So basically, because girls have to marry somewhere else. They are not going to be marrying in the same village. Normally, she will be marrying somewhere else. And so that is probably our ancient time. They had the system built that property goes to sons, and then daughters inherit property with her husband wherever she gets married. So parents, like, um, after father, your parents, like father and mother, they share the property. When they die, or when they become very old, before they die, they distribute their property to their children, especially the male sons. So
I
it,
have
like I gave,
I
yeah,
have a question.
go ahead.
The inheritance is only for the sons, but what
Yeah,
happened if the girl is a single? What happened with this person? What is a part of what is your house?
yeah. So basically, ancient time, normally all the girls were getting married. So that was the tradition, and so that's why the system was like this. But suppose, in a case, for whatever reason, she got married and she become widow, or something happened, she didn't remarry, she came back to her parents, then yes, then parents will make provision for her. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
that's okay. But
no,
in
no, sir.
in general, it is not that parents will give the land to the daughters at like they give to the sons, because daughters have place in their family, in other villages, where she becomes shareholder of property with their husbands.
Yes, sir. But some cases, suppose one parent have only daughter, no son.
Yeah,
In that, husband assets and his father's assets both received by daughter.
that's correct. Yes, that's still the tradition. So suppose if that happens, then yes, that now girls have two places in that case to live. She can choose to live at her parents' place. Many times they choose to do that,
Yes,
or
yes,
she will close the parents' house business, like selling the land and house, whatever she inherited, and still continue to live with her husband and families there. Or sometimes I've also seen that their children, maybe one or two children, would come back to uh, live in the grandparents' house, which they got from inheritance.
and sir, I want to also know that as like we see that our due to our mind, we compare as like our ancient time, our society lifestyle, and right now. That's just opposite of this. The big disadvantage of our people mind or people think I like the enemy of our nature. Practically, we seen that, sir, in our ancient time nature and right now nature. It's just opposite. Means we means our society, our people are enemy of our nature. What's your view, sir?
So it is again, basic feelings and things have really not changed, and that is pretty much human feelings is pretty much the same way anywhere you go. But what changes is that the society where we come from. So basically, society, we are born, and then we are born in the society, and the rules and regulation of that society is kind of superimposed on us, and that's what is. Then we behave like that. Let's say, for example, I'm just making a story up that a family had three children. Their parents had three children, and they died, and then kids got adopted by three different parents. One went to Europe in Christian family, one went to, let's call it, Saudi Arabia in Pakistani family, and one came to America in the Mexican family. Okay, so all three kids, they grew up in different environment, in different language, in different social status, and when they become grown up, if they meet by chance, by accident, they are completely, all the biological parents were the same, but they are all three different people, right? Speaking different language, different, living in the different rules and regulation, values are different. So what it is, in India we call it sanskar, or in other way it is a learned skill. What we are today, there is a basic instinct in our human species which we have got it from God or nature, whatever you want to call it, like um, sleeping, defending when there is a problem. You need to eat, you need to procreate. All those kind of are common in all species actually. They need, all species need, but then there are other things. It all depends on what kind of environment you are growing up. If you are in the small families, you will behave a little differently than the large family. uh, you know so it is basically our learned skill, you can call it in other ways. Our family, our society is a school or training place where we have been trained, and whatever society or has given us the education in general, that's how we behave. But so that's why we are behaving like we are behaving. Now, for example, if a small thing can be, suppose if I leave, give you example. Say for example, I leave um, a small bag of rice in India, in my village, somewhere on the roadside. It will be very quickly gone. But I leave the same small bag of rice in America here, nobody will take it. Why? Because it is the financial need, financial values, because there people don't have that much need for 1 kilo of rice. They don't consider it that important. Like 1 kilo of rice is in India on a street. There are many people, for them that is a big thing, just as if that is a kind of um, pre great food. So they would jump on it, whereas here nobody cares. Similarly, I gave you example. Suppose you are coming from a large population, Muslim families, and there are like 10 children and parents, and then after the food, there is a limited food on the table there, and then everybody will try to fill up their plate fast, quickly, from each other. Basically, they are competing with each other to fill up their plate with a maximum amount of food. But same thing, if you come to American food table, since the food is plenty, nobody bothers to do that kind of thing. Nobody has this excitement that I need to be the first to grab this piece, because here provision is a lot more. Everything is there for them. So people behave differently. So this is what is happening. Why you and I are behaving differently than the people in the village, because we have, in our training process in society, coming from a middle class family, we were given better opportunities to consume a lot more resources, to to learn, to absorb, you know, because we had time. Our parents used the resources. We were lucky to get college education. So we were studying up to like 20 or 22, something like that. We are consuming the resources. Many kids have to go to work like when they are becoming 10 years old. They don't get this opportunity. So this is what is happening. So species is the same, basic instinct is same. This is all well proven biologically. But then there is economic and social factor. We are product of that too. So basically your birth, your geography, your weather, your society, your family, your country, they all have impact on you. What kind of product you are going to be. That's my thought, at least. Could be right or could be wrong.
No, it's right. All is right. You behavior change, or
Yeah,
you your things around of you change.
yeah.
I agree with you.
All right. I think it's time now. 1:16 here. So I guess you guys have to also call it up. So do you want to close it now, Pankaj?
Yes. Now in India also 10:46.
All right. Okay, then good night. Have fun.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
And yeah, I attended that poetry session today. That was very good. Sarabji had invited me to go, so I went. It was very nice. So you guys should watch that one too whenever you have time. I presented also a story. It is poetry and storytelling. They had in English and they are also in Hindi. So I presented a story in Hindi today, but some people have presented in English. Very good.
Okay, sir.
Good, good.
See you.
All right. Good night then. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you. Bye, Pankasha.
Bye bye.